So hello and welcome to the second annual MFEM Community Workshop. I'd like to thank all of the organizers who worked with me on this. Honestly, they did all the heavy lifting. There's good members of the MFEM team. Of course, Zanio, who will be speaking after me, Keaton, Will, and Socrates all did quite a bit to help make this effort happen. Just a few notes about the workshop. We're going to be recording this workshop and posting videos of the talks, so just be aware of that. Please keep your mic muted during all the talks. It gets pretty noisy if a bunch of people are going to be in at the same time. We'll go ahead and mute you if you forget. You go ahead and ask questions during the talks in the Zoom chat, please leave your camera off as well. You can run them for bandwidth issues. However, we're going to have a group photo coming up. So during the group photo, everyone turns their camera on. We'll have side conversations happening in the workshop Slack channel. Last year, this was a pretty large highlight. It was very, very active. I'm looking forward to seeing that again. And if you're having trouble, getting to the Slack channel, go ahead and ask in the chat, and we'll help you out and get on the Slack channel. This year, we've also got certificates of participation if you have a need or a want for them. So if you need or want those, go ahead and contact Holly Otten on the Slack, and she will set you up with one. Or you could just ask any of us on Slack, and we'll get one of these for you. In some cases, people need them in order to get reimbursed for attending the conference. Okay, so we've got a pretty full agenda today. So right now we're in the welcome overview. Right after that, we'll have the state of MFEM by the leader of the MFEM team. And then Veselin Dobrev will go over some of our recent developments. After a break, we'll go through our first session. These are going to be the folks that are out of the United States. We are a global MFEM team. And then after that, I just wanted to highlight we're all doing a group photo. So if we can get you to hang out at 10 a.m. PDT for a group photo before you run off to a break, please join that. We want to try and get that together. Then we'll have the second session. I got this here. Second session, which will have folks from some universities, as well as Brian Young, who I believe is retired, followed by a break. And then the third session, which is going to be folks that are, sort of connected to LLNL. Will Pasner has unfortunately left us recently, but he's still part of the MFEM team, at least in our hearts. Then we'll have a break, and finally the fourth session, which will have our engagements with folks out in industry. And then finally we'll close with a tutorial on using AWS for MFEM, and we'll announce the winners of the visualization contest. And then finally, we're going to have a dedicated Q&A session so that people can ask more questions about MFEM. Okay, so I just wanted to go, we did a survey when we had all of you register, and I just wanted to go over at least a couple of results that I found interesting in the survey. As of last night, we had 216 participants. I think it actually went up to 219 from 34 countries and 120 organizations. So these organizations range from, national laboratories, quite a bit of interest in industry as well. There was maybe about 25 or 30 folks from industry, and then the bulk of the rest was in universities, which is unsurprising. Most of us are from the United States. However, almost half of the folks were from other countries. So MFEM really is kind of a global phenomenon. This surprises me every time I see it a little bit, but mathematics is a language that crosses borders quite easily. And everyone needs finite elements. The other thing that this was pretty similar to last year. The other thing I like to look at is, what kind of experience level do we have for the MFEM folks coming to this workshop? And, about half of you are new users, which is great to see. We're really happy that folks that are just getting started are going to have this workshop to jump into and learn more about MFEM as they're getting started. Okay, so I've got a few MFEM resources for you folks getting started out there that I wanted to run through. So the first and probably the most important is you got to find us on GitHub. So we are MFEM on GitHub. I've got a couple things, to point out that I can point out on GitHub, but you could, make sure you look and find our issues page. This is a good way of getting a hold of us if you have any problems or even any questions. We are quite active on the issues page. And so you can see we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of issues. The other thing I'll point out is we do like stars on our GitHub. I'm going to put a shameless plug in here, and I do want to mention we've got a little friendly rivalry going with the Moose team. So we're all kind of neck and neck on stars. So if you guys wouldn't mind, go ahead and give us a star on the GitHub page. The other thing on GitHub that's worth looking at is if you back out of the MFEM repository itself, you'll find a bunch of our other repositories like PyMFEM or the repository that runs our website, for instance. But we also have the MFEM team here, so you can join sort of our team organization on the GitHub, and it's a good way of getting sort of news updates from us. And you'll whenever we do a release, for instance, you'll get an update from that. The other main resource for MFEM is the MFEM webpage. This has got a lot of good information here. Probably the first place you're going to want to go is to the example codes. This will give you a good idea of the kinds of problems you can solve with MFEM and give you a sense of what the codes look like. These example codes are on the order of maybe 100 lines of code. Based on the MFEM library, and they show you, they'll give you all sorts of different PDEs being solved, different finite element methods and approaches to solve them. It's a really good place to get started. A couple other places that are pretty useful on the web page for getting started. So there's the getting started page in documentation. This will give you information about how to build and what other libraries you might want, that sort of thing. As you get deeper into things, you'll probably want to dive into the Doxygen. So this is this Doxygen links to the latest Doxygen that we have as well. Something new we've recently added is we actually have new version Doxygen documentation as well. So if you are currently on an older version of MFEM, you can actually get the Doxygen for that as well. And it does change as MFEM changes. And then finally, the other thing I wanted to mention, I want to put a plug in for our seminar series. So we run a finite element seminar series out of Lawrence Livermore, pretty much monthly. I think we've done 10 of these so far, and we are currently looking for more seminar speakers. So if you have some finite element theory or application that you'd like to present, go ahead and find the MFEM seminar series page on mfem.org/seminar and go ahead and send us a message from there. You can sign up or even contact us on Slack. We'd be happy to have you come and deliver a seminar. These are sort of longer form. We give ourselves an hour for this, and we have good discussions at the end of them as well.